Chapter 1. The Fall of the Elven Prince. The sun had not yet risen when the horns of Belthasurion cried out, a deep, mournful sound that shook the silver towers and stirred every heart within the elven walls. The air was heavy with the scent of smoke and ash. The sky bled crimson, and from the horizon came a roar that made even the bravest tremble. Prince Rulgorn, clad in armor of moon-forged steel, stood upon the outer ramparts beside his father, King Eldrian. His long golden hair fluttered in the wind, his emerald eyes fixed on the darkness, crawling from beyond the mist. He could feel it, the presence of something ancient, foul, and hungry. "Father," he said quietly, his hand gripping the hilt of his sword, "Eltharion. They come sooner than the stars foretold." King Eldrian's voice was weary, his silver crown dimmed by the flickering firelight. "I, my son, the Shadow Queen, wastes no time. The age of peace is ended." Then the ground trembled. From the valley below, the armies of the underworld surged, a tide of black armor, their banners aflame. At their front flew Suzorg, the demon of destruction, her wings vast as the sky, her laughter echoing like thunder. Behind her came monstrous beasts, hounds with molten eyes, serpents of flame, and creatures that crawled like shadows given flesh. The elves released their arrows. The sky shimmered with silver shafts of light. For a moment, the valley blazed, but the fire of Hurlda's legions swallowed it whole. The battle had begun. Rulgorn fought like a storm, swift, graceful, unyielding. His blade sang as it cut through armor and ash. But for every foe that fell, 2 more rose. The elven warriors were outnumbered 1,000 to 1. And when the first of the gates broke, the darkness poured in like a flood. From the far end of the battlefield, Suzorg descended, her black wings beating with fury, her voice shaking the walls. She landed before Rulgorn, her eyes burning gold. "Elven Prince," she said, her tone both cruel and curious. "Your light ends here." Rulgorn raised his sword. "No darkness," he whispered, "lasts forever." Their clash shook the ground. Sparks flew as steel met flame. Rulgorn's courage was unmatched, but Suzorg was no mere warrior. She was a weapon of the underworld. Her strength, forged by centuries of torment. At last, with a roar that split the night, she struck his blade aside and cast him to his knees. Then the sky itself opened. Through a rift of shadow, Queen Hurlda appeared, towering radiant in her dread. Her eyes glowed with the color of dying stars. In her hand she held a chain of living fire. "My beautiful prince," she hissed, her voice like molten honey, "I have come for what is mine." The elves tried to shield him, but with a wave of her hand, Hurlda unleashed a wave of black flame that consumed all in its path. King Eldrian fell, his crown shattering upon the stone. Rulgorn cried out, grief and rage entwined. But before he could strike, the chain wrapped around him. The heat burned his skin, searing the mark of the underworld upon his arm. "You will be my king," Hurlda whispered, "and through you the earth shall kneel." And with that she vanished, dragging him into the abyss. When dawn came, Belthasurion was silent. Its gardens lay in ruin. Its towers, once bright as morning stars, now stood, blackened and broken. Only the wind moved, whispering through the ashes the names of the fallen. Far from the ruins, in the hidden forests, a single figure watched the smoke rise. A cloaked cat with eyes like starlight. Yandalf the Wise lowered her staff, her tail flicking with grim purpose. "The prince is taken. The shadow has returned," she murmured. "Then it begins, the gathering of the chosen." She turned toward the east, where light still touched the horizon. Her paw traced a sigil in the air. Golden dust spiraled around her whiskers. "Bosman of the Hidden Jungle, Fluffy Bear of the Lost Kingdom, Captain Snowball of the Fallen Woods, Princess Chachinor of the Hobbit Vale." The air shimmered, carrying her summons across forests, mountains, and seas. "By the law of light, by the promise of hope, come forth. The world needs you now." And so the call went out, unheard by most, but felt by hearts that still remembered. Courage. The first threads of destiny began to weave, threads that would soon bind together the most unlikely fellowship in all of Valerian.